Hi and welcome, it's Jennifer McGuire. Today I have a product and project close-up for you, focusing on the newest release from Mama Elephant. It is their 5th birthday and I'm a big fan of Mama Elephant, so I'm excited to share this with you. I'm first going to walk through all the products and give you a closer look because there are some really fun ones, and then at the end I'll share 3 quick projects with you. Okay, so let's start with the stamps. This is the Me and Yeti stamp set, and I think this one is going to be really popular. Just some really fun images. I like how they have the 2 big Yetis, and then a bunch of little images to go next to it. So you can put a little person on top of his head, you can put things in his hand, or create a little village around him. And there is a coordinating die set available that cuts out all these images, even the small ones. And it does cut the Yeti's hand so you can tuck something in it. Now there is a Sentiments from Yeti stamp set that coordinates nicely with this. That's the set you see there on the right. There are some fun sentiments such as Yeti or not, it's Here Comes Christmas, and Merry Christmas and Yeti New Year. Or you can stamp these 2 banner images on the right. They are perfectly sized to stretch between the hands of that Yeti on the bottom. You can also stamp the words Merry or Peace into these little banners, and the other banner just has little stars hanging down. I will use both of these sets later on in this video. Next we have the Little Santa Agenda stamp set. Now this is kind of like from a series of stamps that Mama Elephant has come out with. They have little cats and dogs agendas and some other sets. So these can be teamed up and used with some of those images too. And I'll link to a video here where I show some fun things that you can do with small images like this to make cute and quick little cards. And of course, the coordinating dies are available to cut out these smaller images. Next, along the same lines, is the Little Reindeer Agenda stamp set. Now, the fun thing about this set is, see those top images? They are mirror images, so you can actually create spinner cards. So these little reindeer spin around. And I'll link to a video here showing how to create a spinner card. I like when stamp sets include those because it's another way to use them. I also like the little reindeer on the bottom that's holding a coffee cup. That way you can use it to create a little tag for a teacher gift and include a little gift card to Starbucks or whatever. Lots of fun images in there, and there is a coordinating die set available. Next we have the Holly Snowflake stamp set. This has some beautiful images of snowflakes in various sizes. I like that many sizes are included so you can use them on just about any project. And I'm going to show you a fun way to use this whole set later in this video. Now I'm excited about the Season's Wishes stamp set. Now Mama Elephant has many stamp sets with a large script greeting like this that are so beautiful, so I'm glad there's a holiday one. And I've done a video with these large script greetings before, and I'll link to that here. I like that it's large and beautiful so it can be the focal point of the card, and you can keep the rest of the card simple or just do a fun background technique with this embossed over. I also like that there are there's actually 5 sentiments that you can put on the inside of a card to kind of complete everything and pull it together. Next we have the Puffy Holiday Greetings. I really like the look of this one, and in fact I saw that Mama Elephant has a sample where these are just stamped repeatedly on a background with the Yeti on top, and it looks really cool. Lots of fun little sentiments in there, and the nice thing is you can white heat emboss this on colored cardstock, so it's bright white with the letters peeking through in whatever color cardstock you used. Also, there is the Occasional Labels stamp set. Lots of small sentiments in here that are great for adding on any card, and it seems like every occasion is included here. Again, this one is beautiful, like white heat embossed on black cardstock or bold colored cardstock. There are even kind of general messages like you're the best, just because, for you, and specific occasions. So this pretty much covers the bases and can be used on any card that you create. Next up is a cute little cookie set called A Cookie Christmas. So if you make cookies as holiday gifts for teachers or whatever, these would be great for using on little tags to go with it. Really like this little candy or gingerbread house here. I think he'd be a lot of fun to color. And there is a coordinating die set available. Mama Elephant has many stamps with this style, so you can use these with ones that you may already have. And for stamps, this is the last one, but definitely is a good one. This is A Berry Christmas. This is perfectly sized, so you can have the bear putting this star on top of the tree and the other bear putting on an ornament. There are other images that you can use to create a scene or just use individually. These bears are absolutely cute, very easy to color, and would be great for a mass-produced card. When I make mass-produced cards, I often like to use bear images because they're pretty simple to color. You just use a few shades of brown and a little rose on the cheeks. Okay, now time for the dies. The first is the die set called Hexastar, and this has some fun, useful dies in it. The first cuts this panel here with faux stitching and scallop edges at the top and the bottom, and it cuts to be a full 4 1/4 inches wide. So you just see color from your note card peeking from the top and the bottom. That's a great way to add a little bit of interest to a card base. There's also the large hexagon that has the faux stitching on the outside edge. So you could use either the negative space or the positive space, or you can use them together on a card. This also includes a faux stitched tag that is like the perfect size for the center of a card or to put on a gift. It has the faux stitching around the edge, and there's also a star, a little banner piece, and a reinforcement circle for the top of the tag. So this set could be used in many ways, and you could use it anytime throughout the year. Next, we have the Snow Flurries die set. These are beautiful, intricate snowflakes. Nice variety of sizes, great for creating a fun tone-on-tone background or doing different techniques with it. And I'm going to show you 2 ways to use this die set later in this video. I think these dies are beautiful and the perfect size. I've always been a fan of Mama Elephant script word dies. I always think they're beautiful looking and the perfect size. Well, now they have the Hello Friend, which comes connected, but if you want to, you can simply die cut these and cut the words apart so that you have hello and friend, and you can either stack them or use them separately. I'm actually going to use that hello on a card in this video, but I think this one is a good one to have because the size is just right and it has both words included. Next, I have 2 die sets to share. The one on the left is Snow Deer, and the one on the right is Santa Elf. These die sets have all the pieces that you need to create a snowman, a deer, a Santa, and an elf. And these are large size, so they can be used to kind of cover the bottom of a note card or cover a little gift bag or gift box. They're really fun to assemble. I actually have the key from Mama Elephant here to show you what they look like assembled and how you can use all the different pieces. So if you get these sets, you can just download this key and you know exactly the way to assemble them to get different looks. Again, these are large images, so you can really cover a project very quickly with them. And it's really fun to die cut these pieces from felt so you can have some texture and dimension to them. Okay, so next I wanted to show you a few projects that I made using some of these products. Now I'm not going to show you all the steps, I'm just going to show you the key pieces so that you can see how these came together. Okay, so let's start with this Snowman Hello card. I actually used the snowflake dies to create the snowman itself, just for something different. So I started with white cardstock that I put Stick-It double-sided adhesive on the back of. That way, when I die cut the Snow Flurry snowflakes, I had adhesive on the back so I could stack 3 snowflakes on top of each other for lots of dimension. You could skip this and use one to save quite a bit of time, but I wanted to make a bunch of dimension to it. So here I have one of the snowflakes that has 3 stacked together and it has adhesive on the back. So I'm going to stick that onto a white circle die cut just so it has a little background that we can use to create the 3 tiers of the snowman. Now I did the same with 2 other snowflakes, one that's a little bit bigger and then one that's a little bit bigger than that. I stacked 3 on top of each other and glued it to a white circle die cut. Next, I trimmed off any pieces that are hanging off the circle just so it had a nicer shape to it, stayed nice and round. So I glued these onto blue paper, just using some strong double-sided adhesive, and I kind of assembled them so they look like they're stacked on top of each other, just like a snowman would be. Now for the hat on top of my snowman, I actually used the hat die from the Snow Deer die set that I just showed you, and it seemed to be the perfect fit. I cut a little piece of red cardstock to go across the hat for a little trim, and then I just hand cut a little carrot shape from orange cardstock. Then I'm going to add those little pieces onto our little snowman and add little black gems for eyes. If you wanted to, you could use Nuvo drops or some sort of enamel dots for this. Now, after I finished assembling my snowman, I trimmed the blue panel down so I had a long strip. Now, for the background of my card, I wanted to stamp a bunch of snowflakes. So I'm actually using the snowflake stamp set as kind of like a background stamp. So I'm leaving all the snowflakes on the plastic backer, and I'm inking up the snowflakes on that with a soft pool colored ink. And I'm going to stamp this twice onto a white note card, once on the bottom, once on the top. You could stamp it once vertically, but I wanted it so that the snowflakes kind of hung off the side of the card, just for a more complete look. So I'm stamping this once on the bottom of the 4 1/4 by 5.5 inch note card. Then I'm going to repeat the process and stamp it on the top. This is a great way to use any kind of snowflake stamp set, or maybe a stamp set that has lots of flowers or lots of hearts. You can actually keep the stamps on their backing and use it as a gigantic background stamp. I really liked the look of this, but decided I wanted a few more small snowflakes stamped in the areas between the larger. So I'm taking 2 of the small snowflake stamp sets from this set, and I'm putting them on the tip of my finger. I'm going to ink them up and stamp them in various places on the card. You can use an acrylic block, but with small images like this is so quick and easy to do. So anytime you have a tiny image, try using your finger to do the stamping instead of an acrylic block. It saves quite a bit of time. Now, remember earlier I showed you the Hello Friend die? Well, I die cut 3 from black cardstock with Stick It double-sided adhesive on the back. Cut the word hello off and stack the 3 die cuts on top of each other for lots of dimension. Now, when you're using Stick It double-sided adhesive, you want to press very firmly with your bone folder to make sure it sticks. And I just put that right across our little snowman. So there you have a fun way to use several of the products in this video today in a unique way. Now, this inspired me to create another snowman card using a different stamp set from today's video. This uses the bubble stamp set that I showed you earlier, and I just white heat embossed 3 of the images kind of stacked on top of each other to create a funky kind of fun looking snowman. Now I'm going to speed this up because it's very simple. I just stamped all 3 images with Versamark ink, and then I added Hero Art's white embossing powder and heat set it. And the blue colored cardstock I used shows through the letters on these sentiments, so you can actually read these subtle sentiments on our snowman. I added a hat, just like I did before, and eyes and a little carrot nose. And for the background of this note card, I used white cardstock, and then I die cut a bunch of those white snow flurry snowflakes and glued them all over the background. So the background is actually tone on tone, but has beautiful texture and interest thanks to those snowflakes. Okay, so I have one more project and one more product to share with you, and I'm really excited about this one. This little Yeti gift box was created using the scallop square box die set. So you cut 2 pieces from the scallop square box die in the set, and one forms the top and one forms the bottom. Now this is how I do it. To form the bottom, I put adhesive on these little flaps that stick off the side, and then I fold them up and assemble the box, kind of tucking the tab down into the box so that I form the box smaller on the bottom and the top one will make bigger. So I'm kind of tucking it in so you can see a little piece is sticking off the side. I will go back and trim that off. This just forces the bottom piece to be smaller than the top so it can fit on top. So here I'm going to go and cut off that extra little piece that sticks out. You can see this came together very quickly. I do recommend using a very strong adhesive. Double-sided tape would be perfect for this. Okay, so now we have our bottom created. You could just put a little gift in here wrapped in tissue paper and put ribbon around it, but if you want to, you can create a top. So I created another piece with the same die, and I'm going to assemble it just like the other, but this time I'm going to assemble it so it's a little more open. So the tabs aren't going to be tucked as far in. In fact, they're going to line up with the other edge of our die cut. So let me show you here. I'm going to tuck this in so those 2 corners meet up perfectly. So this way I have a little bit larger top and a smaller bottom, so they'll fit together nicely. Now if you notice in that die set, there is a circle die and a fancy label die. Those are perfect for die cutting a window in the top of the box so you can see what's inside. And you can put an acetate there if you want to protect it. So here you can see that the top fits nicely on the bottom, and you have this adorable scallop square box. So they slide apart and you can put any little gift you want inside. I added a stamped and colored Yeti image from the sets I showed you earlier, and a little Merry greeting across that. I really am a big fan of dies that are functional like this, so you can create three-dimensional products. And this one's actually a smaller die set, so the price point is very good. So there you have a look at the new release from Mama Elephant, along with a few projects. Happy birthday, Mama Elephant. You know I'm a big fan of yours, and I appreciate all the great products you make. As always, the supplies are linked in my YouTube description, but there's much more information over on my blog. In the middle are 2 other videos to check out. Thanks for spending time with me today, and I hope to see you again soon.